Imagine, if you will, a land of mist-shrouded glens and rugged coastlines. This is the Scotland of long ago. And it was home to a truly enigmatic people. They were the Picts. Roman soldiers, shivering in their forts, whispered tales of them. These were fierce warriors who appeared from the fog, their bodies covered in strange and wonderful designs. We call them the Picts, a name given by the Romans. It likely means the painted people. But what did they call themselves? That, like so much about them, is a mystery that historians like me find absolutely thrilling. The Picts were a powerful confederation of peoples who dominated northern and eastern Scotland for centuries. They flourished from roughly the 3rd century to the 9th century AD. In this chaotic world, the Picts not only survived, they thrived. What truly sets the Picts apart is their incredible artistic legacy. They were masters of symbolism. Their most famous creations are the magnificent Pictish stones. You might see a crescent shape with a V-rod through it, or a strange creature that looks a bit like an elephant or a dolphin, which we call the Pictish beast. There are also zigzag patterns, double discs, and intricate knots. We don't have a dictionary for this visual language. Each symbol is a tantalizing clue, but what do they mean? Then, of course, there are the tattoos. The Roman name Picti strongly suggests they decorated their bodies, their skin a canvas of blue woad ink, covered in swirling patterns and images of beasts. These weren't just for decoration. Tattoos often carried deep meaning, status, tribal affiliation, or spiritual beliefs. Later Pictish stones, known as cross slabs, are breathtakingly complex, blending old pagan symbols with new Christian imagery. You can see magnificent crosses surrounded by biblical stories, noblemen on horseback, and ferocious battles. This unique artistic flair is our main window into the Pictish soul, showing a sophisticated understanding of design and a deep connection to their beliefs. The story of the Picts is also a story of conflict. They were formidable warriors. For the mighty Roman Empire, they were a persistent and painful problem on the northern frontier of Britannia. The lands of Caledonia, as they called Scotland, proved to be a different challenge altogether. They conducted lightning-fast raids across the border, striking Roman patrols and settlements, before melting back into the rugged, unforgiving landscape that they knew so well. They were masters of guerrilla warfare long before the term was even invented. In 83 AD, the Roman governor Agricola met a huge Pictish army at a place called Mons Gropius. The Pictish leader Calgacus gave a defiant speech, accusing the Romans of creating a desert and calling it peace. Although the Romans claimed victory, the truth is that they soon withdrew. Their most famous solution was Hadrian's Wall, a monumental stone barrier stretching from coast to coast. But these walls were not impenetrable. The Picts continued to be a threat, sometimes breaching the walls or simply sailing around them. Their constant pressure was a major drain on Roman resources, a persistent headache for emperors who could never truly claim to have conquered Britain. But what was life like for the Picts when they weren't fighting Romans? They were also farmers, fishers, and craftspeople. Some occupied impressive hill forts perched on strategic heights, the centers of local power, home to chieftains and their followers. Their society was likely hierarchical, with powerful kings ruling different regions. Most Picts would have been farmers, working the land and raising cattle, sheep and pigs. Cattle were particularly important, a sign of wealth and status. Life would have been hard, dictated by the seasons, but it was a functioning and well-organized society. One fascinating aspect was how they chose their kings. The Picts practiced matrilineal succession, kinship traced through the mother's line. A king would not be succeeded by his son, but perhaps by his brother or nephew, his sister's son. Daily life was filled with craftsmanship. They created beautiful jewelry, such as the famous silver chains and ornate brooches discovered in hoards. So, if the Picts were so powerful, where did they go? This is perhaps the greatest mystery of all. They don't just disappear from the historical record, they seem to merge and transform. Around the 9th century, the Picts joined with their Gaelic-speaking neighbours, the Scoti of Dalriata. Kenneth MacAlpin became ruler of both peoples, traditionally seen as the first king of a united Scotland, or Alba. At this time, Viking longships were raiding Britain's coasts. Facing a common enemy, the Picts and Scoti decided they were stronger together. United, they could better resist the Viking onslaught. The result was the gradual fading of distinct Pictish identity. Their language gave way to Gaelic, their succession system changed. Within generations, the Picts had effectively vanished from history, absorbed into the new nation they had helped create. Yet their legacy is all around us in Scotland. It's there in the magnificent carved stones that still stand sentinel. It's in place names with prefixes like Pit, thought to derive from a Pictish word for a share of land. Most importantly, their legacy is in the very existence of Scotland itself. Without the Picts and their fierce resistance to Rome and their eventual union with the Scotti, Scotland as we know it might never have been born. They are the mysterious, painted and powerful ancestors of a nation, a silent but foundational chapter in Scotland's long and dramatic story.